Okay, welcome back. So we just had our first meditation of settling the body, speech, and mind, or the body, breath, and mind, body, energy, and mind. And it is really it's a specific approach to meditation that is one of discovery, of revealing, of sort of letting that which is not it fall away, as opposed to trying to wrangle or trying to focus in really tight on the object or something like that. It's rather a releasing of everything else, of all the clinging, of all the spinning, of all of the movements, and a recognition of the clarity and cognizance of awareness just as it is. And this practice falls under the category of shamatha, or it's a samadhi practice. It's a practice of calm abiding. It's a practice that is used to stabilize the awareness in the mind. But like I said, we are stabilizing the awareness not by trying to control it, but actually by trying to release it from being bound up by the mind, by all these other factors. And so in shamatha practice, in this calm abiding practice, this practice of cultivating samadhi or meditative stabilization, and to just briefly get into it, the path, the Buddhist path, and really I think all contemplative paths are broken down into ethics, or sort of morality, way of life, the virtue, benevolence, nonviolence, all of that, and we can get a little more specific about that later. And then meditation, the cultivation of steady awareness, and then wisdom, or the insight into who we are, how reality actually exists, insight into the nature of mind. This is the seeing the way things really are. And all of these three have to be united, and so we can see as we're moving through this together, we had to begin with some wisdom, some bringing some wisdom to our life to actually turn to the path, to actually turn to a spiritual practice. And then from there, we may begin to cultivate meditation and ethics. And so all of these three kind of work together, but all are necessary. And we'll dive deeper into that in a later talk. But for now, I just want to give a few notes on what we just did and discuss, I mentioned them during the meditation, but I wanted to discuss the qualities that we are cultivating in the body and the mind during this practice. And so in the body, we're cultivating relaxation, stillness, and vigilance. So without being rigid, we have a, the posture, the meditative posture with the legs crossed, hands on the knees, or in the lap like this, or on the knees. And you can have half lotus or full lotus, or you can even just sit on a chair if you need to. But either way, you're cultivating a deep stillness in the body, deep relaxation in the body, but also this vigilant posture. And all of these need to be balanced. And I would also say, there is an earthy stability to the posture. It's literally the body, it's our earth element. And so we use that as a way to ground our awareness, okay? And then there are the qualities that we're cultivating in the mind, which are similar. But again, mentally, we're cultivating this relaxation, stability, which is another way of talking about continuity. So the continuity of attention, the stability of our awareness, of our mindfulness. And then finally, clarity or vividness. So these are the qualities that we have to balance and that are always deepening. We can always go into deeper relaxation, deeper clarity, and deeper continuity of our awareness. And so the first balance that and all of this is it's a subtle balance. And the Buddha famously taught one of his disciples, saying, and one of his disciples used to be a musician, and he said, how did you tune your strings? And he said, well, not too tight and not too loose. And Buddha said, and it's just that with meditation. We need to cultivate a balance between the right amount of effort and attention and vigilance with this relaxation, stability, stillness, So it's always this give and take, this balancing of the mind. And fundamentally, what we are balancing the mind between is excitation, getting caught up in thoughts, running away, and dullness, falling into stupor, into sleep, into heaviness. And these are the two. Dog just came in. So these are the two factors that we're avoiding, and so, or that we're trying to balance in between, the excitation and dullness. So the first balance as we go into this practice is between the relaxation and the clarity. So we're trying to maintain the clarity of our awareness, but not at the expense of becoming tight, not at the expense of grasping. So it's this balance between release and tension. Non-distraction, non-grasping, but not falling away, not falling into the dullness of the mind. So that's what we'll work with right now, and that will hold us through these first initial meditations. And so with that said, we'll go into the next lesson on the precious human birth.